Hello everyone. Today we will discuss concrete technology, Unit 5. In this class, we will discuss few topics of Unit 5. So, as you can see, the syllabus we have lightweight concrete, high density concrete, sulfur impregnated concrete, polymer concrete, lime concrete, constituents and their uses. Then we have high strength concrete and fiber reinforced concrete. So I will be discussing all these topics in the video lectures. So this is the first lecture in which I will discuss lightweight concrete and high density concrete. As some students have already prepared presentations, so I will go through these topics again. And as for attendance, I will be sending you Google Forms on your respective emails, and you can answer the questions in the Google form after watching this video. You will find all the answers in this video. So let's start. So what is lightweight concrete? Simply a concrete which has a density between 300 to 1850 kg per meter cube is known as lightweight concrete. The density of normal concrete ranges from 2 to 002 to 600 kg per meter cube. So the next question is, why do we need lightweight concrete? So very simple answer. It helps in reducing the dead weight of the building. As we know, nowadays we have frame structures where the load is mainly upon the beams and columns, and walls are just made to, as a separation tool. And next we have, it reduces the haulage cost. So haulage is transportation cost. When you transport concrete from one place to another, the blocks and all those things, and they are heavy. So if the weight is reduced, then you need lesser fuel, and it's easy to transport them. And the next point is, when the soil is weak, we don't want to increase the load on the weak soil. So using lightweight concrete helps in reducing the load on foundations. And the next point is low thermal conductivity. One of the features of lightweight concrete is that it has low thermal conductivity, so it does not allow heat to flow through it. So in cold weather or in very hot weather, the room or the building is insulated from the outer environment, which is generally very hot or very cold. The last point is that uh, materials like slag and other waste materials, fly ash, they can be used in manufacturing of lightweight concrete, which otherwise is a waste. So it helps in preserving the environment as well as reducing the cost of the construction. So there is only one method of making lightweight concrete, that is by inclusion of air, and this can be done in three ways. The first one is by replacing the usual mineral aggregates by cellular or porous lightweight aggregates. The second one is by introducing gas or air bubbles. Uh, this type of concrete is known as aerated concrete. The third one is by omitting sand fraction or the fine aggregates from the concrete, and this type is known as no fines concrete. We don't have any fine aggregate, so it's called no fines concrete. So to summarize, lightweight concrete can be classified into lightweight aggregate concrete, aerated concrete, no fines concrete. So and further, lightweight aggregate concrete can be classified into, it has a subcategory called structural lightweight concrete, which I will discuss in next slide. So lightweight aggregates. So lightweight concrete is manufactured using lightweight aggregates, which are of two types. First one is natural, and second one is man-made. So in natural we have rice husk, sawdust, volcanic cinders, pumice, and others also. And these are a few examples. In man-made we have sintered fly ash, foamed slag, thermocol beads, bloated clay, and etc. These are few examples. Okay, so these are the aggregates which are used in manufacturing of lightweight aggregate concrete. Now, depending on the lightweight aggregate used in lightweight concrete, different densities and strength can be achieved. Usually, lightweight concrete has very harsh work. I mean, they are very harsh mix, so the workability is very low. So it has to be improved by using admixtures or air entrailing agents. Okay. So now we have one type known as structural lightweight concrete. It is a particular kind of lightweight concrete. Uh, Structural lightweight concrete can be is the one which has 28 days compressive strength more than 17 megapascals and 28-day air dried unit weight not exceeding 1850 kg per meter cube. That is, it has a minimum compressive strength and it is lightweight. The density is also low, so it combines both strength and lightness. And obviously, if you have a lightweight concrete with good strength, then it's very good concrete. So the next category is aerated concrete. It is made by introducing gas or air into the slurry composed of potent cement or lime and finely crushed siliceous filler, so that when mix sets and hardens, a uniformly cellular structure is formed. So in this video you can see how we can use such concrete types. So you can see the man using this machine to cut the concrete in desired shapes and forms. It is very lightweight and can be sawed. So it can be sawed using a saw also. See how this man is using the saw and cutting it into different shapes. Other machines can also be used, for example like a cutter machine to cut this concrete. So basically they are very lightweight and they can be sawed into different shapes. So though it is called aerated concrete, but it is not really a concrete in the context of strength. It is often referred as gas concrete, foamed concrete, or cellular concrete. In India, a common product of aerated concrete is Siporex. If you search on Google, you will find it. So how it is manufactured now? This kind of concrete is manufactured by three methods. The first one is by formation of gas by chemical reaction within the mass during liquid or plastic state. Second one is by mixing preformed stable foam with slurry, and third one is by using finely powdered metal, which is usually aluminum oxide, with slurry to release hydrogen gas. Okay, and the third method, this method is most widely used. It is also known as gasification method. Okay, so in place of aluminum we can use zinc also. So as I told you, gasification is most widely used method in which aluminum powder is used. Obviously, again we saw in the video, it has a timber like properties. It can be sawed and nailed, screwed, but it is non-combustible. Okay, so it can be used in the place of a timber. And for in situ works, the usual methods of aeration are by mixing in stabilized form or whipping air in with the by using air entrailing agents. So the third category we have, the first one we had lightweight aggregate concrete, second one we had aerated concrete, and third one we have no fines concrete. So no fines concrete is a type in which we do not have fine aggregates. Okay, usually concrete is a mixture of cement, coarse aggregate, fine aggregate, and admixtures and water, obviously. But in this type of concrete we do not have the fine aggregate. So the compressive strength of such concrete varies from 1.4 megapascal to 14 megapascals. Okay. So when conventional aggregates are used, no fines concrete can show a density of about 1600 to 1900 kg per meter cube. But when no fines concrete is made by using lightweight aggregate, the density may come up to 360 kg per meter cube. That is very light. It is very light. So as you can see in this figure, we have a concrete in which there is no fine aggregate, only coarse aggregate is present, of a particular size. Uh, so as I told you, aggregates usually are passing through 20 mm and retained on 10 mm sieve size. Okay. And then we have this cement ratio also. For water cement ratio, it can vary from it has also has a narrow range, which can vary from 0.38 to 0.52. So again we have a very narrow range here. Okay. So advantages of no fines concrete. So obviously we don't have fine aggregate, so the weight is light, and which is about 25 to 30% less than normal concrete. And the second advantage is that as it does not have any sand, it has less drying shrinkage. Okay, when compared to normal concrete, shrinkage mainly happens due to presence of fine aggregates. The third one is it has thermal insulating properties, and the fourth one is the surface area required for cement coating is reduced. So the cement required is less per cubic meter. Okay. This point is also important, since we do not have fine aggregate in the concrete, and the problem of segregation is not there. So you can drop concrete from different heights also, so it will not segregate. The fine aggregate or coarse aggregate will not separate because there is no fine aggregate. So, and the last point is it can be compacted without using heavy vibrators, and it can be done by using tamping rods. So compaction is easy in no fines concrete. Okay. So we have some limitations also of no fines concrete. uh, Obviously, when there is no fine aggregate, so the voids are not filled by fine aggregates, so the permeability is very high, so the water can flow through it, and the reinforcement can easily get corroded if you're using in if you're using this type of concrete with steel. So to make such concrete impermeable, extra coat of cement is required, plaster is required, which then increases the cost. Okay. And the last point is to test the workability of concrete. There is no definite method as in we have for normal concrete, for example slump or compaction factor test. So the workability test is a bit difficult in this type of concrete. Okay. So now this is the next type of concrete. It is known as high density concrete. Okay. So we will discuss now high density concrete. So what is high density concrete? Uh, High density concrete is a concrete having a density ranging from 3360 kg per meter cube to 3840 kg per meter cube, which is about 50% higher than the unit weight of conventional concrete. That is the density of conventional concrete. So even densities up to above 5000 kg per meter cube can be produced by using iron as both fine aggregate and coarse aggregate. So the basic application or the primary application of such concrete is in permanent shielding of in nuclear industry. So you can see this is one of the nuclear reactors which is being constructed using high density concrete. So to have a better idea of why we use high density concrete, I will explain using these figures. Now in this figure you can see this is a aerial view of a nuclear power plant, in which this part is the structure in which the nuclear reaction takes place. So this containment structure here is this part. Okay, and these are the cooling towers. The main radiation we have is in this containment structure. You can see This is the reactor vessel in which the nuclear reaction takes place and nuclear fission takes place, which heats up the water and turns it into steam, which runs the turbine, which generates the power. Okay, and then this steam is liquefied and cooled using the cooling towers, and it is fed back into the system. So this is a continuous process. Nuclear process is a continuous process. It cannot be stopped. It can be only controlled by using control rods, and and if you study nuclear physics, you will understand more. But it cannot be stopped. Once a nuclear plant starts, it cannot be stopped. So the protection of the people working in these places and the surrounding areas from radiation becomes very important. And so to protect them, we can use lead. Lead is the best protection for from nuclear radiation, but using lead at a such a big level is not possible. So here we use high density concrete. Okay, this outer structure is made up of high density concrete. So the main problem we have in these radiations is, I mean, the radiations, all radiations are not bad, but particularly two are problematic. The first one is electromagnetic waves, which consist of X-rays and gamma rays. The second one is nuclear particles, in which neutrons are the most dangerous elements. So we need protection against these things. So to make shielding concrete, heavy weight aggregates are used, which have specific gravity between 3.5 to 4.0. Okay, so some of the naturally available aggregates which have specific gravity in this range are barite. This is barite, magnetite. This is magnetite, and others also there. And even iron shots are used, and steel shots are used to manufacture high density concrete. So how does it shield? So it has sufficient capacity to absorb radiation, both neutrons and gamma rays, and it has good mechanical properties such as strength and durability. And obviously in green state it can be molded into any shape, and the initial and maintenance cost of concrete is low. It has some disadvantages also, like the sections which are constructed in these structures are very heavy and they need more space. Okay, and obviously due to the heavy weight, the handling is also difficult. Okay, so with this we have completed two topics. One is lightweight concrete, and second is one is high density concrete. I will be sending you the Google Forms. You have to watch the lecture and answer the questions from this lecture. Okay, thank you.